Welcome to our Design Masterclass live here on Jewellery Maker, bringing you the chance to create this incredible crafted piece. It is the Peacock's Tail Scale Maille neckline piece, and what a work of art it is. Truly magnificent, majestic almost for the neckline. We have got the fantastic company of Cherry today as our Masterclass leader. You are our leader, we shall follow.
Yes, hopefully we'll have some fun. It's an exciting piece to do.
Yes, it's got a lot of elements to it,
yes.
But actually many of the basic scale mail elements can be built up to create a piece like this, can't they?
Absolutely. Once you've mastered the technique of the basic scale mail, then the world's your oyster with it, yes.
Yeah, and it feels like this is an incredible, elaborate piece, but actually when you start to break it down,
yeah.
very much a case of just take it step by step.
Absolutely, yes. As I say, once you've mastered the basic technique, that's really all you need, and then you can just vary how you put it together, and this one is maybe not so wearable, but a statement piece.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's one of those pieces that you've got to look at as a centerpiece to your jewelry creations, isn't it?
Yes.
A real style feature.
Yes.
And one of the nicest things about a piece like this is that you can take elements from it and make it work within your own comfort zone of wearability.
Definitely.
You know? And also for me, the nice part about it is that it's called the Peacock's Tail, but every peacock is different, so yes. Every piece can be different.
It can, yes, but there's nothing in there that's not too difficult to master. It's just putting it all together.
Perfect. Well, this is the masterclass, and of course we want to give you the chance to create this very look, and by doing so we want to give you the ingredients, and that's exactly what we're about to do. We're going to give you all the chance to own all of the ingredients of this one main neckline piece within one bundle. So we're not going to separate them, we're just going to go one bundle, all of the scale mail, all of the wire and all of the jump rings come together in one pack. Because the facts are is that if you're going to make this look, you need all of this, so we may as well bring it together in one magnificent opportunity, and it is going to be magnificent. Now you are going to get all of the different variants of your scale mail. Let me just make sure that I have like this, and it includes within your purples, your greens and your blues of your scale mail. Different sizes, as you can see there. We've got the large and we've also got the smaller. So you're going to get in total 100 of the larger and 100 of the smaller. So that's your purples. And then we're going to match that up with exactly the same again in the blue. So 100 of the larger and 100 of the smaller, and that's with your lovely royal blues. I mean, these really are the peacock's plume of colour, aren't they?
They are. Yes,
absolutely there. So there's your purples and your blues, and then to finish it all off, let's add the richness of greens. Now, of course, for a lot of us, I think the one thing is that you've got that real power of quality coming through there. And with the greens, you've got 50 of the green and 100 of the smaller. I think that's right. Hopefully I'm giving you that right information. So that's it. There we are. Perfect. So 50 of the larger and 100 of the smaller. So that's in total. So you have, let's work it out, 200, 300 and, oh no, it's even more than that, isn't it? So that's 200, 400, 550. 550!
It's enough to keep me going for a while.
Isn't it just?
Yes.
So 550 of your scale mail, ranging from the large to the small. Now, of course, with the scale mail, kind of pointless unless you've got the jump rings to bring them all together. And we are bringing them together with our royal blues. And again, just sticking with those gorgeous, rich colours that you did connect to the peacock's plume. Now here, you're getting a multiple pack, and as you can see there, 100, 200, 300, let's make it 400 royal blue saw cut anodized aluminium jump rings. These are your 9mm and also your 5mm gauge. So you're getting two different variant sizes of your jump ring. That's your 9 and your 5mm internal gauge diameter. So those are those. So that takes you to 400 jump rings. That's a lot of lots of bits and pieces, but to finish it all off, just to add in those little sweeping, swirling, decorative, artistic designer aspects, you need your wire as well, and you've got that chance. 0.8mm gauge wire, and it's 10 meters of that royal blue. And again, bringing together, if I just put the jump rings alongside it, you'll see how the blues really do match beautifully against that royal blue. So really, really rich qualities in every aspect of this design. So you've got all of your scale mail, all of your jump rings, and all of your wire for one massive bundle, and it is massive. And you've got it for just $39.95. So literally is everything and more to make this necklace. And of course the thing is that this is a bumper pack. It's not just going to create one piece of jewellery. In fact, it could be multiples depending on the size of the neckline piece you choose to make.
You'll make a lot out of that, a lot.
And there's a dynamic really with every aspect that you might choose to really connect all the blues together and then maybe work with the purples and the greens separately. But either way, you've got a lot going on for $39.95. I mean, when you look at a work of art like that, you think to yourself, well, if it was sitting somewhere in one of your boutique locations, because works of art like jewellery often have like centerpieces in a jeweller's shop, don't they? I mean, nobody would go, oh yes, you could make that for less than £40.
No.
Just doesn't look like that, does it?
Doesn't, no.
Fantastic statement. And of course, we'll bring you some featured gemstones later on in the masterclass to create the choker design that really finishes off this neckline. But we'll go into those later on once we've investigated the scale mail itself. Because scale mail, really easy and yet incredibly effective. Really cost effective as well. And I think that's something that we're all looking for these days, is to make our money go further and to get an impact, but without having to create too much of a problem on our bank statement. So we're going to do that today, and we're going to go to town. So let's just head over to join Cherry, and let's really start to investigate, because the dynamic of the scales in particular are really, really impressive, aren't they, Cherry?
They really are.
I think the nicest part about the scale mail is that you can investigate one aspect of it, but really there are so many different available options to go with.
Absolutely, because particularly if you buy my DVD, I show you how to decorate the scales in lots of different ways, so you can actually change the look of them before you've even started putting the piece together. So it does give you a huge amount of scope, huge.
And that's something that you're going to show us to start off with, aren't you? How to decorate and how to really probably almost transform the plain blues and purples and greens to something a little bit more of a plumage of pattern. But that's the nice thing, and for somebody like myself, who probably is quite fearful of well, my lack of artistic integrity, being 0.0. You need to show me how very easy it is, because this would be the point where I'd go, oh, yeah, I don't do drawing. I could do stick men. My children are much better than me at drawing already, and they're only 5 and 2. Do
you know why it is? It's because as children they have no fear. And that's what it is. They don't mind what it's going to look like. So you just have to get over that and go
get over it.
Yeah.
Okay, sister.
Okay. So I've chosen a really simple design that actually anyone can draw, which just sort of gives you an idea of a feather look. So I don't know if you can zoom in on those for us, Ben. That's what we're aiming for. Very, very simple things that anyone can do. Just some simple lines and some simple dots. So if I show you how I've done that, first of all, it would be a good idea to start by doing this on all your scales first, or at least as you go along, so that you don't have to do it once the necklace is made up. You can do it once it's made up, it's just easier to do it this way.
Okay, that is.
So I'm using painty pens. You can find lots of things around your home that you can use, and we sell some great pens on our website.
Okay, www.JewelleryMaker.com if you do want to find out any of our different pens.
So I'm just going to do a basic sort of stylised feather shape on the top one, and then some lines out. Now anybody can do that, can't they?
Shall we find out? Shall I give it a go?
Why not?
I was only joking. Oh, okay. This is a masterclass, not really an exercise of exposing how very, very basic I am.
So all I've done is that basic shape, and then coloured in the gold on the inside, following that basic shape, like that. And it doesn't dry instantly, so you do need to put them aside for a little bit, and then some little dots, which just from a distance gives it a bit of a a bit of a
So how long
sparkle.
does it take to dry?
Only a few minutes.
All right,
so
okay.
if you did a batch of them, by the time you've done the last one, the first one will be dry.
Fair dues.
Just a good way of going about it, really.
Yep.
So I'm going to put those to one side. And now we're going to concentrate on actually putting the scales together. And this is a technique that you'll always use. So once you've got this, you've got it.
On scale mail.
On scale mail. It's the way to put them together so that they sit together tightly and properly.
Okay.
And there are a couple of rules to remember. So this is the bit that if you haven't done it before, you probably need to rewind and go over and have a really close look at.
Okay, and practice makes perfect.
Well, once you've got it, you've got it. And it really is very simple. Very, very simple.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to use 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, making sure that they're good pairs and that they're nicely sprung still, because that will just make my life a lot easier.
Okay.
So I need 2 pairs of those, and these are just our Jewellery Maker ones. And for the large scales, I'm going to use the larger jump rings, and for the small scales, the smaller ones.
Okay,
Simple as that.
Simple.
So I need to open up my jump rings, and I'm going to always be holding one with one pair of pliers and opening and closing with the others. So very, very simple. To start the necklace, we start with a row of 13 scales.
Okay. 13 scales.
13 scales on the top row.
And this is to make the exact
this is to make the exact
centerpiece
copy
that we're looking
yes.
at. And for those of you who are obviously watching, would you advise maybe starting to have you got a notebook and a pen around?
Yes.
It might be worth you just grabbing that right now,
yeah.
because perhaps a little bit of the beauty of this piece is because of the way that you've numbered them and you've got
yes.
that lovely plumage.
Yes.
So you're starting with 13. So maybe you need to make a note of that, guys. 13 is the first line.
It's the first line is 13, and I've actually got my notes here. So you know, I don't want to hide that from you and say that you can remember it all in your head, because you won't.
Okay.
So
unless you're really good with numbers.
Yeah. The first line is purple and green scales.
Yes.
And 13 of those.
And into what's the word? Different each.
Yeah.
What's the word? Intermittent. No, interspersed.
I don't know, but anyway, a green one, a purple one, a green one, a purple one. Second row is all blue, and the second row is 11. The third row is 11, and the fourth row is 11, and the fifth row is 10, and the sixth row is 9.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So, the way to join them, and this is the same for the large and the small, is to open up your jump ring, and taking our first row here, you need to always work from the back of your scales.
And
so
how do you
I'm
know the
working
back?
from the back. The back is the side with the groove down the centre. So you're always going to work from the back.
But you mean the concave?
Yes, I do.
Right,
yes, because they do kind of sort of domed at the front.
Okay,
aren't they?
brilliant.
So we're working from the back always. It's really important that you attach it in exactly this way so that they sit properly. Taking my jump ring, I'm going to attach this from the front to the back. Okay, so it's got to go in that way around. And the next one goes from the back to the front, like so. And then close. I'll do that again. I'll do it a couple of times and you'll know what I mean then. So I'm attaching them sideways. Let's take another jump ring. Make sure it's well opened up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go through the front of this one and through the back of that one. Can you see that? I'll do it one more time.
I can see it, but I just don't know whether I get it. So do it again for me.
I know. Once it clicks, it's so simple.
Okay.
So through the front of this one.
Through the front.
And the back of that one. And I'm just attaching them so that they are attached sideways at this point. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll do one more. I don't know if I can hold it up for you to see. Would that be easier?
No, we can see it great. The camera's
so
catching it.
Through the front of this one and the back of that one. So I'm going to go along like that for 13 scales. 13
scales?
Yeah.
And so you're using 12 jump rings, is that right? Because if it's is that right?
Yeah.
Is it one less than the other? No, I think that's wrong, isn't it?
No, it's two less because of the two end ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Right, so you need to keep moving your work back into position as you're going along, and that will help you.
Because?
Because it can sort of flip around at this point. It's not stable at this point. As we go further down, it'll become more stable. But just keep replacing it in the right position.
And the right position at the moment, can I just, because I don't know what the right position is meant to be, is it that above, below, above, below, above, is that how it's meant to be? Is that how you've got it set up?
They probably will move at this stage, but in fact, so long as they're attached in the right way through this one and up through the next one, that's fine. But you want this to be the top, and when we start attaching more, they might sort of flip up and down a little bit, so you need to keep putting it back. You'll see. You'll see. Okay. So the next row, we're going to attach a scale onto each of these sideways jump rings. Okay, so I'm going to take my scale first and go through the front of this scale and then through the jump ring. And when you're closing these jump rings with your two pliers, close them nice and tight and just squeeze them together a little bit like that, and then they'll close beautifully. Yeah, because these are saw drilled, aren't they? And they're so strong and so tough. They are the best jump rings I've ever used. They're so strong, they're not going to go anywhere. So you can be really confident that once you've done that, it's going to stay together. Yeah, and that just gives you that final, like, kind of edge, because once you've got these in place, you kind of need them to stay where they are. You need them to stay exactly where they are, and you can be totally confident with this. Okay. So through the front of here and onto this jump ring here. Yeah. So you're always going to start the next row by going through the existing sideways rings that we've got already on there. So let's just finish off this little bit here, through the scale, then through the ring, and close, and through the scale first, and then the ring. Now, as it is at the moment, those rings are just hanging and they're not actually attached to each other. So you see what I mean now? I'm going to replace it and put it back how it should be. And I'm going to take my next jump ring and I'm now going to attach these sideways. So open the ring, go through the first one, through the front, just as before, and through the back of the second one. And close. And through the front of this one and the back of this one, and close. And again through the front of this one and the back of that one, and close. Whoops. Now you'll see that that is now going to stay in place, and you've got the beginnings of your proper scale mail that's holding together beautifully. My hand behind it, yeah, I can see it properly. Yeah, and if you like, I could turn it over so that you can see how it sits, and you're always going to be working on this side at the back. So that's the working side? That's the working side. So you can see that they're now stuck together, and the longer it gets, the easier it is. You don't have to keep putting it back into place. So those are your basic scale mail skills. So tell me again, 13? 13, 12, top row. And that would be the multiple of the purples and the greens. Then the second row is 12 blue. Yeah. The third row is 11 green. 11 green. The fourth row is 11 purple. 11 purple. The fifth row is 10 blue. 10 blue. And the sixth row is 9 scales, and I've done them in green, purple, blue. So, which that sixth row is that? The sixth row is 9 scales, green, purple, blue. Mixing up the green, purple, and blue. Yes. Okay, and that's all in the large. And that's this large piece that we've made up here. Don't worry about the fact that I've attached it so far. I'm going to show you how to do that shortly. But that is my large bib, so and that's what it will look like. Let me hold this so you can point to me for me. So you're going 12? Yeah. No, 13 to start, 12, 11, 11, 10 and 9. Yeah. You can see that all working together there. You will notice on there are some small scales on the top, and it's obviously attached to the choker, but don't worry, we'll get to that. Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, so this is part 1. This is part 1. Okay. Part 2 is you need to make up 3 of these small little bib pieces, exactly the same. Whoops, let's hold it in the right place, there. And I've mixed these up in a mixture of all the colours. So what I did was I picked a combination, maybe purple, blue, green, and just followed that all the way through. And what I've done with the small sections is I've started with a row of 6 at the top and decreased it by 1 every time until we get to 1 at the bottom, and that one stands alone.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 then, yeah?
Yes,
okay.
And that is done in exactly the same way, but because they're the small scales, we're using the smaller jump rings.
Great. You're going to show us that then, just to get started.
I can show you again.
It's always good to see it. I think this is the main part of how to do the technique.
It's the main part of how to do scale mail, because you might choose to just make up a little bib like that to start off with, build your confidence, and then realise that you can start putting those together and, you know, changing the shape as well. So I've got my small jump rings. I've laid out the scales here in the correct order, which is a helpful thing to do. Start by putting my...
Tell you what, I'll just move this a little bit, then we can see it properly.
So I'm going to start by putting my first ring through the front of this scale and the back of the second scale, and close. See, once you've got it in your head, it's actually really simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Through the front of this scale and the back of that scale, and close. I won't go all the way across, I'll just do this one more at the top, front of here, back of the second, put it back into place, and then imagine I've gone to the end of the first row, and on the second row I'm going to go through the front of my scale and hang from these sideways jump rings that I've attached here. Like so, and they will just hang in any old direction at the moment until they've been joined together. So through the front of this jump ring and through here. Oops. And one more. Through the front of here and onto that jump ring there, and then we need to join together this second row. If you pull it out like so, now you can see. So we need to now join the second row together in the sideways, with the sideways jump rings. So through the front of this one and the back of that one, and this is what holds them into place. Oh, bear with me. Might be an idea to actually open up all your jump rings before you start. Through the front of here and the back of here, and you just keep on decreasing by 1 all the way down. So now you've got the start of your little section.
Fabulous.
So that's that. So you'll end up with 3 of those little sections.
Yes. And that, as I say, that's decreasing 1 in size, so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's right, yep. Okay. Now what we could do is I could show you how to actually attach those to the large bib that we've already made with the larger scales.
Perfect.
So if I take this and turn it over to the back.
Let me tidy that up for you, because we're not going to do that anymore, are we? So let me just... No. Then we've got a bit of space.
Fabulous.
For us to see. Look at me with my tidying. Mark Smith would be very proud of me now, wouldn't he? He'd be like, wow, Vix is actually tidying up.
Okay. So I've got 3 of these and I've done them exactly the same. I've made sure that I've done them in exactly the same order so that they match, basically.
Okie dokie.
Now on mine here, what I've done is I've already attached some jump rings in different, excuse me, different colours so that you can actually see where it is, and I didn't have to go counting and looking for them. So you want the centre one to go into the centre of this bib, these large bibs here, and the 2 side pieces will hang onto the sides there like that, so we're ending up with this shape. And all you need to do is to make sure by counting down here that the two side ones are in exactly the same place and attached in the same place, and the centre one is dead centre.
So hang on a minute, let me just get this remote. Count down with me so I understand where you've taken it down. You've taken it 1,
yep,
2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on a minute. Just move your head a bit further back for us. So 1.
Okay, count the end ones.
Count the end ones. That's what I wanted to know. How do I do it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So you started on row 5.
Yes.
To then attach the top of your smaller bib.
Yeah.
To the larger one.
To the larger one. And the way I've attached them, as you can see here, I've got different coloured ones to show you that I've attached them using extra jump rings, not the existing ones. So I haven't touched any of the existing jump rings that have made up the piece. I've added them in.
So you're attaching to 5.
Yes.
You're attaching 6 twice. Is that right?
Yeah, either side.
Either side. And again, you're doing all the way along 6 for the main bib.
Yeah.
And then again, you've gone for 5 and 2 of the 6 for this side.
Yes. All I've done is I've attached these already onto there just so that you can see where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And you just put them through the top jump ring here,
yeah,
and through the jump rings there. Okay.
I don't know whether you want those.
I don't know because I've got them already on here.
Ah, right. So you're going to use them.
So I've actually already added these.
Okay.
So all we'll do is I've closed them obviously so that they stay where you could see they're in the right place. And all I'm going to do is open them up and attach. In fact, I think I'm going to attach through the hole. I think that's how I did it actually, thinking about it. I attached through the hole on the scale. So if I attach the scale there and close and just do that all the way along, and then that's going to sit nicely in place like so, and you're just going to get this underneath. All that you don't want is a gap in between. You don't want this to be dropping down so far that you actually get a gap here in the necklace. It needs to be high enough up so that there is no gap.
Okay.
And you'll end up with, we can refer back to the ready-made one, you'll end up with that shape.
Can I take that off and have a look at the back
Absolutely,
then?
yeah.
I'm just going to see the back so we can see how that... Okay, wowzers.
It's a lot of jump rings, isn't it?
Wow, blimey.
But now you can see how it's done. It looks complicated, but actually it's not that complicated.
It looks incredibly complicated like that, though, doesn't it? Hecky thump. I guess it's just almost getting into a pattern, isn't it?
It is.
And getting into a, you know, almost into a routine of how to connect them.
And to be honest, once you've got the hang of it, which will only take you a few minutes to sort of get the hang of going through the front one and back through the back of the second one, you can do it without thinking. You really can, and it grows very quickly.
So we're going from the larger ones to the smaller ones just here, and this is the connecting line just there. Beautiful. Okay, great.
So at the same time, the next thing I've done is I've actually made myself 2 little rows of just the blue small jump rings, and I've attached these in the way that we do the first row, just sideways. So they are literally just sideways attached. Okay, that should be fairly clear.
Yep.
Now that I've been through it. So literally do that. So you need 2 of those, and I think there are 11 in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 2 of those with 11 scales, and those
and are they with the small jump rings?
Yes. No, actually, no, these are large.
I asked that because they look like the large jump rings.
Yes, you're right. I have actually, normally you would always use the small jump rings to make the scale, but these 2 pieces are for the sides of your necklace. So I've attached them to the 3-strand weave, the ladder weave. Okay. And I've attached them with the larger ones just so that they sit down a little bit easier. I'm going to show you how to do the 3-strand weave now and how to attach them. Okay. And it's the same method, obviously, for both sides, so it's quite simple. So if I start by, well, actually, before I show you the weave, there is one other thing I've done to this.
Yes.
I've done it this way. You can do it when you're making it up, but I've done it this way just to make it a little bit more simple for you when you're actually making it up. So once you've got to this stage and you've got all of your whole bib attached, all the scales attached, you'll notice that I've got a little row of small scales at the top.
Yes.
All I've done is reopened the top scales and attached them into the sideways scales at the top.
Okay.
Okay, so I've done that just as a little added extra. It's not, you don't have to, but I think it looks quite nice to have the top row attached like that.
So exactly the same as you would just have opened the jump ring that's already in place and add in an extra jump ring.
Yes.
An extra scale.
Yes, that's
okay.
I've opened the existing ones at the top and added in a scale to the top row, and obviously at this stage you haven't got your choker on the top.
Okay.
So the next thing I'll show you is how to do that.
Well, how about I introduce one of our 3-strand packs, because as you can see, you've created one look, but the nice thing is that
yes.
from each choker, there's a potential to be able to create a different look
Absolutely.
via the neckline
yes.
of gemstones. Now, obviously, the features that Cherry's working with as part of her demo piece is actually the combination that I'm about to give you now. So if you like this look, this is the exact strands that you need to get for your collection. Now you have here a combination of your faceted mystic rounds of quartz. You've then got your lavender amethyst, and these again are 8mm, and to finish it off you've got apatite with those lovely 8mm. Now of course these are the 8mm derivatives, giving you that real nice size, not too overpowering but not too subtle either. And of course the mystic quartz just dazzles and shines, takes on board any colour that it's put against, and of course with all of those lovely shades of purples and greens and blues that you get from this scale mill, then it's certainly going to capture all those colours within each one of the facets, and these are faceted to delight. Look at that for a close-up.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Shimmering, sparkling, dazzling qualities that you're looking at there. 8mm. We're adding to it with the dazzle and the shimmer and the faceting with the lavender amethyst. That just adds that softer, subtle tone, and then of course just finishing it all off perfectly with apatite, a very dramatic apatite at that, much more of our intenser colours, much more of a deep coral reef colour rather than the lighter, fresher ocean shades that we sometimes find from apatite. Very dramatic, almost like thundercloud like blues, very intense, very rich qualities of colour. So it's a 3-strand offer that we're giving you within this masterclass, and as you can see here, a gorgeous complement. Your quartz of your mystic, and then of course your lavender amethyst and your apatite coming together for less than £20. Should be more than that, but we've taken it because if it's an exclusive masterclass offer, it's $19.95. Absolutely extraordinary pricing offer, and that's of course just to really ensure that you're getting the full look, really fusing it together, isn't it?
And with this beautiful mystic coating, it actually takes on the colours that it's next to, so it gets a real glow from the actual colours of the scales, which
really
is
get
lovely.
that almost like that peacock iridescence.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Peacock spring, you always think of that shimmer. You don't just see the colour, you see the shimmer and the texture, and that's what you're going to get thanks to this combination. So £19.95 is all you pay. A beautiful look. So this is the piece that these are the combinations that we've actually got as part of the demo neckline piece that Cherry's been creating, and you can see how well they look. Very, very pretty combination. And it just, matches so well against those blues and purples and greens of the scale mill. Really luxurious quality. $19.95 for your 3 strands. But you're going to work with another 3-strand bundle to create this ladder weave. So show us what we have to do, Cherry.
Okay, I've got here a slightly smaller size, 6mm here.
Yes.
So if you wanted just a more delicate look, this is another lovely combination. So I've used a lovely blue coloured beading thread as well, which I think when you're doing a ladder weave really helps to have a coloured thread, because why not? When you're working with all these beautiful colours, you want it to show. So I'm using a lovely deep blue beading thread. I've taken a really long length of beading thread to start with, and I'm going to do a little bit of a pattern, very, very simple pattern. I'm going to use the pyrite on the outside of the ladder weave and intersperse between the multicoloured quartz and, is this howlite, is it?
So it looks like
Yep. So I'm going to sort of intersperse those. So really simple to do. I've threaded on already 4 beads to start with and moved them down to the centre of my piece of beading thread. And because I'm alternating them, if you're doing it all in one colour it really doesn't matter, but because I'm alternating them, I've started with the outside colour, inside colour, outside colour, inside colour.
Okay.
Okay. Brought the beads down to the centre of the thread and then take one of the ends and go back through. Whichever bead you go back through, that's going to come to the centre, basically. So you'll always know if you're going to alternate, like I have, you'll always know. You'll end up with that beautiful little quadrant. So now, once I've put the 4 on, I'm going to only put 3 on after this. I'm going to put 1 pyrite on one side and 1 pyrite on the other side, followed by the centre bead again, and I'm going to go back to the quartz this time. So I'm popping a quartz onto there, and then with the other side of the thread, whichever side you've got 1 bead on, you take that side and go back through the last bead. And just remember that that last bead is always going to be the centre one, and that's how you'll know what you're going to be using for your pattern. And you might need to just pull it into place a little bit. There we go, like so. And you carry on. I'll do that once more and then I'll show you how to finish off. So it's the outside bead, in this case the pyrite, on one side, and it doesn't matter if you swap the sides over either.
No.
Outside bead and then the inside bead. So we'll go back to the howlite.
It's actually magnesite.
Oh, is it magnesite?
Yeah, yeah. Although I have to say the veining on it has a real strong howlite look about it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, really strong, almost marblescent like veinage.
Yeah. Yeah, like a really expensive work surface.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see how easy it is to make a pattern that that sort of varies in the centre.
So once we're there.
So once we're there,
and what kind of length are we talking about?
Again, this is going to vary, but you can sort of put it up to your neck as you're going along. 14 inches is probably an average size. Probably you and I are slightly less than average, I would say. Some people might be a bit more. So you need to just keep putting it up to your neck and seeing. You might need to vary the amount of scales that we put the 11 on each side. You might need to vary that to in accordance, but it will all become simple if you do it in stages each time you go along. And then to finish off, all you do is bring those 2 threads together and then just do a selection of the other 2, the inside 2 beads, and that will ensure that you've got plenty in one strand to do the front part of your necklace, the ladder weave, with all of those as the outside ones, because obviously you're using twice as many of those. And you just bring that together like so and put a clasp on and finish in the usual way.
So obviously while you're working with this bundle, we may as well give everybody the chance to own it. It's a complement of some gorgeous qualities. Again, what I like about it is really reflecting that that plumage quality, where you've got that metallic edge to the pyrite. Then on top of that, you've got your beautiful qualities of multicolour quartz, texturing and tonal, the luxuries of femininity, you know, subtle and pastel, very much I would suggest quite a Parisian qualities. And then on top of that, you've also got your white magnesite. And as I say, the veining that you have from this magnesite, very marblescent, very, very much of a unique pattern and print. Absolutely gorgeous. So 3 strands, £10.95. That's 3 strands for just £10.95. This is a Masterclass exclusive offer that we're giving you. I can't give you a guarantee that we can give you a price tag like this any other time than within the Masterclass. So if you do want to join us, it's £10.95. You've got this beautiful mix. I mean, just to highlight your multi-quartz from those beautiful shades of your Praise Your Light, those lemon quartz, and then on top of that, your softer dusky pinks, those baby pinks that really add that feminine, and then to finish it all off, of course, those fantastic amethyst as well. So a really nice medley of qualities. Now this is your 6mm bundle for perhaps a little bit more of the delicate qualities in terms of the ladder weave, to add a little bit more intricacy to the ladder weave. Then you've got, of course, the larger that we did for $19.95 with the 3 strands of the lavender amethyst, the apatite and the mystic quartz. And then, of course, at the bottom, let's not forget, we also have given you the chance to get the scale mail bundle itself. The scale mail bundle was all of the scales that it required. I think I said in the end, was it something like 550? Yes, 550 scales that you're going to get. You're also going to get over 400 jump rings, and to finish it all off, you'll get a reel of wire, and that's coming in for you at $39.95. So that's $39.95. So all of the offers there, all of the opportunities. You can see there the bottom part of the screen there says to you DXGC87 is the code. Right then, so
doesn't that look pretty or made up as well? That really is a very delicate, pretty bundle. Really does look lovely.
$10.95. $10.95. Right, congratulations if you got that. So we're at the point where we have made up the main plume. We have made up the main neckline,
and we put it to one side.
And we've put it to one side.
We put it to one side for now. Yeah. We're going to make up the beautiful wire pieces, and then finally we'll attach the choker to the rest of the scales. Okay. So I've made up 7 pieces of wire for the actual necklace, and if we separate them all, I've made up, you need to think, I'm going to show you how I actually do this wire sort of looping effect, but you need to think about what direction you want your wires to go in as you're doing it, and whereabouts they're going to sit within the design. So I'm basically going to end up with something like this. If you can see that.
And that's going to be the main bib.
That's the main bib. And
pointing downwards that way.
That's right. So I've thought about, I mean, I could even actually do it, I could do those inside or out. Actually, I quite like that out. But think about where you want them to sit. So I've got 2 sort of looping outwards, 2 slightly more fancy ones, 2 smaller ones, and 1 small one in the middle. Right. And that's going to be at the bottom. So that's what we need to think about. So if we put all that to one side, and again, these are really much more simple than they appear to be. I'd take about an arm's length, almost an arm's length of wire, because if you take too much, that's fine, but you don't want not enough. So, first thing to always remember when you're using your wire is to make sure that it's really, really smooth and got no kinks in it at all, because that would really spoil your design. It's all about a free-flowing design. So just make sure it's really well smoothed out. And then how I do it is completely by hand on a flat surface. So if I put the wire onto a flat surface, I'm going to think about leaving a little tail at the end that I'm going to work on, and I'll always tidy that up with a little spiral or a loop. So if I keep that flat there with my finger, you can see that, and then with my other hand, I'm going to start swirling like so. Put my thumb on that, and the more I do the swirls, and just see what happens, where they go, the more I sort of do the swirls, the more it will then start to hold into place. So I could maybe do 3 going that way, and if I wanted to change the direction, again keep making sure it's really well smoothed out as you're working on it. If I wanted to change direction, I've got to think about how the wire would want to do it, because I don't want any sharp bends at all. So bring it down this way and maybe change it like that. Just think about having really sort of swirly shapes that the wire naturally wants to do, and no bends or sharp edges. So if I start off with, say, something like that, the next thing I want to do is tidy up both of the ends. So one end is going to be just a spiraled loop end, and the other end is going to be where it attaches to the necklace underneath. So if we have a longer end for the attaching end, just taking my round nose pliers, I'm going to make a little bit of a loop there, and then go back to my flat nose pliers and start to spiral it. It's a good idea to probably use the nylon jaw flat nose pliers if you've got coloured wire. This is actually not marking it, but just in case, if you've got them, it ensures that they don't take any of the colour off. If you haven't, you could always put some masking tape on the pliers. Yeah. And then the next thing you want to make sure that you always do is, this isn't going to stand anything at all, so it needs work hardening. So you're just going to, with your pliers, just clamp on all the way around, just keep clamping it. You don't have to press on really hard, but just make sure you cover every little bit of the wire, being careful where the wires cross over, because if you clamp on those too hard, it will actually break at those points. But the more you clamp on it, just spend a few minutes really clamping on there. That will actually harden. Well, you'll see now, we will try and move it, you'll see the difference. Just keep clamping on, and already that's just a few clamps, and now it's really quite stiff. But you can feel where you need to do a little bit more, and just keep going until it's really stiff and it's not going to go anywhere and it's safe to wear. Now the other end is where it's going to attach. I might just want to manoeuvre that slightly and then really work hard on it up here so that it's going to stay in place, and then make a little loop at the end like so, and that loop is going to have a jump ring attached through there onto the back of the necklace, through one of the jump rings on the necklace. So I don't know if we want to show people on the large one how we've done that. I can actually attach it here if you like. So we're just going to take a jump ring.
Yes, miss. Large one?
Doesn't, small one probably, actually, but it doesn't matter for demonstration purposes. Thank you. So again, I'm going to need both of my sets of pliers and pop that through the little loop on here. And if you attach it to any of these loops, and then if you sort of put your necklace either on the table in front of you or onto a bust and see if you're happy where they're sitting. If not, just move the jump ring to another.
You've only put one on.
I've only put one on.
Would you not like multiple, like maybe do 2 or 3 if you've got that, if you want it, or are you literally just want that movement?
I wanted some movement, but they don't move that much. Yeah. After that, I wanted them to stay fairly close together. So what I actually did was, just with using some of the beads that were left over from the top part of the necklace, I've just joined them together in a couple of places with some 0.4 wire. Just literally bound them together, if you can see at the sides there, where I wanted them to be attached.
Cool.
And you could really go to town with that and attach as many as you wanted.
So you could see just about how. So you just brought them together, just to give you that. Yeah,
with a 0.4 wire.
Perfect.
So all that's left to do at this stage, as I say, these will sit better once you've actually attached them all and attached a couple of them together and what have you.
Yes.
So all that's left now, if we get rid of this wire, is I've got left over my 2 pieces of 11 scales here, but that's for your average size, and you might want to vary that up or down, whatever. And they're simply attached at the side at this point. So if we've
you're just doing this, if I take this one back out again,
and I'll just get a couple of jump rings.
So we've done the ladder weave.
We have.
And then we've done the main bib, but now you've already done, and you said to create, was it 11?
Yes.
It was 11, wasn't it, to create the final part of the neckline, like so.
That's it, you might want a close-up on that. So what I've actually done, all I've done is put a jump ring through the rings at the side of each scale and attach that onto the beading thread between the beads.
Okay.
I'll show you that, but that's basically what I've done.
Okay.
So we've got our scales here simply attached sideways at this point. So if I take, and I would actually go for the larger ones here, just gives you a little bit more movement, makes it a little bit less tight. Okay, so I'm going to attach the large jump ring to the sideways ring here, and actually I need to turn that over to the back so that we've got it in the right direction. And each one of these rings is, can you actually, yes you can see a good view of that. If you look there, I'm going to the side of each bead, so I'm going to put one in this side of that bead and close it. And again, this is the beauty of these fabulous jump rings. You know when they're closed, they're going to stay there, they're not going to come off. And the next one, I'm going to go through the next ring here and go.
So you're missing one.
I'm missing one here. Did I actually miss one or not? Perhaps I didn't, sorry.
Shall I turn that around?
Yeah, that's a little bit, that's it. No, I shouldn't have missed one. Each side of this bead here. So I'm going to go each side of a bead. It's a little bit fiddly to push them through and close. And we've gone to a small jump ring here because that's all I had to hand, but I will go a larger one to make it all right. And through this next one here and the other side of that bead. So each bead, each side of the bead, push the ring through and that will attach all the way to the end. And I found that 11 was just about right to fit on mine. And then I've also, this one here, the first one wants attaching to this ring here. So sideways, the last ring on the central part of the bib.
Yes.
The last scale on the central part of the bib. If you attach it through the front of this one, at the front of this one and the back of that one, it's now attached to there, and the whole thing is one piece then.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So that is basically how we do it. And I've left this one, as you can see, I've left this one without any decoration because there are some people who think, oh no, I really don't want to have a go at that, but it still looks like a peacock's necklace. Or you could do something even less, just to give you the very slightest idea of a peacock feather.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, you know, the smaller ones, perhaps, you know, for some people, that smaller bib is enough to get that beauty, but maybe just to get the same impact on the neckline, to get just, you know, just adds that plumage effect. And with the scales, I mean, obviously the potential is flowers, so it's like petals and scales like on a fish. What else do you explore with scale mail?
On the DVD I do show you how to make those flowers and they come out absolutely beautiful. It's very similar to a chainmail effect actually, the way that you do it.
Right.
And I do take you through step by step how to do that and how to colour them in different ways using different things. Maybe it might be pens, or alcohol inks is another thing that colours them beautifully and can give you all kinds of really different effects, so that a blue scale, for example, ends up looking nothing like it started off at all.
Right.
So it really does give you a huge palette to work with.
Can you spolygant them?
Yeah, I haven't tried it, but there's absolutely no reason. I'm sure you could. It's metal. So yes, absolutely, 100% you could. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Sveligant is like almost like an antique style, isn't it? It's
Yes.
like a liquid that can give it an antique feel, so it can give a vintage feel. So you could almost just add another antique vibe, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, boho almost chic to add to the texturing, I guess.
Yes. Well, anyone that's you know, does other crafts, you'll see we've got a wonderful range of alcohol inks on our website, and they look really particularly stunning.
Yeah, and you've obviously with your anodized aluminium that also is for those of you who don't know, Cherry also is part of our anodized aluminium team, and the anodized aluminium comes with prints and stamps, etc. Could you put the stamps? Could you put like some of the coloured stamps on here?
I'm not sure you could actually stamp onto it because it's not flat. So
right.
yeah, so you wouldn't get a nice flat surface to stamp onto. So
it's easy to use it with pen and
yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, that's better. Let's just quickly recap for you, because of course at the very beginning we gave you the chance to get the bumper pack, that is the scales, the jump rings and the wire within this one masterclass bundle. And as you can see there, to create the whole eventual look, you need all of these. Well, of course you will get some spare, so you've got potential to make even more. And once you wear a piece of jewellery like this, whether you make the whole look or whether perhaps a part of the look, it's of course the type of look that will then get people talking, perhaps commission work, that kind of thing, because it is so different.
It is, and it'll be a lovely piece to have if you have a craft stall, just to have it on your craft stall to attract attention. But please don't be daunted by the amount of information I've just given you to make up that whole thing. If you break it down, you know, it really isn't that overwhelming. It just seems like it when you go through it all in one go. But if you do it stage by stage, it really isn't too overwhelming at all.
No, not at all. So the combination that we're going to offer you in this bundle is that you're going to get 100 of your larger blue and 100 of your smaller scales. So that's the blues. So 200 in total. 100 of the large and 100 of the small. Then on top of that, you're going to get a subsequent 200 of the large and 100 of the smaller purple. So it's a lot in this bundle, a lot going on and a lot of potential. Then on top of that, you're going to get a further 50 of the green and 100 of the green smaller. So 50 of the larger and 100 of the smaller in the green. So that's the colour combinations that you're getting. So that's in total, what do we say, 200, 400, 550. 550 scale mail pieces. Of course, with so many scale mail, we've seen, of course, the network on the back of this neckline piece is quite tremendous, really. So much detail put into this, and lots of jump rings to be required, really.
Yes. But don't be daunted by that. As I say, once you've got it, it's so easy, you can do it without even thinking about it.
No, of course. So we have got here a combination of, let's just make sure I put them right together, 200 of your, best to turn them around that way, 200 of your 9mm blue anodized aluminium jump rings. These are saw cut, so you have that really nice, specific, precise cut to the jump rings, which just gives you that precision to the closing and the opening of the jump ring itself. So 200 of the larger, that's the 9mm, and a further 200 of the small, which is your 5mm. So you've got again matching blues. And of course, they all come together in the bundle. Plus, we're finishing it all off with the wire. And that wire is 10 meters of your 0.8mm gauge. 0.8mm gauge. Now, this is an exclusive masterclass bundle. I can't guarantee that this is going to be available outside of this masterclass. So if you're going to get it, I'd suggest you get it now. The facts are is that we couldn't always give this kind of amount of findings and elements for one price tag of less than £40 unless we were within the masterclass. And of course, Cherry's created this incredible work of art and hopefully has stimulated your creativity and got you excited over scale mail. So we're going to give you the chance to create your own look for $39.95. Of course, let's not forget the gemstone bundles that we also gave you today. That includes the combination, first of all, the larger 8mm 3 strands with your lavender amethyst, your apatite and your mystic quartz. beautiful luxury finish shimmering away there. Again, if you think about the sheen and the qualities of the peacock plume, you really have got that luxury of sheen and finish to this bundle. $19.95 is all you pay. 8mm in each one of those stones, faceted with the amethyst and the quartz, and then that deep, almost midnight rumbling cloud like luxury from the apatite. That's your 8mm for $19.95. And then to just finish it all off, to add one more bundle, we're giving you your 6mm variant. This is a combination of your pastel pinks, blues, greens, yellows of your multicolour quartz, and then on top of that you've got your pyrite and your white magnesite, all 6mm, and yours for the taking for just £10.95. Fantastic feature look, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, this really has been a lovely way to explore the potential and just the start of the scale mail.
Yes.
That I'm sure we'll start to see in the likes of our Wall of Fame, etc.
I hope so, yes. Do let us know how you get on.
Yes, certainly. I'm sure for a lot of people this is just the beginning. Hope you've enjoyed our masterclass. I know that I've enjoyed having the company of Cherry. Thank you, Cherry, for your time. And you take care of yourself. Don't forget 5 o'clock this evening for our live late show.
Bye.